for his own. Well, he still has
photos, and Gowl takes the S2, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think enough is fine.
Okay. You, the Twitch is live, but we haven't given anyone the link yet. So
I've given the link already. I've already given the link out.
Okay. I'll give you the link. Oh, you given the link?
I've already posted it.
Okay. Alright.
Or is our microphones on yet?
The microphones are on. We can hear. It's just a minute now, and they're looking at the full board. That's all they're seeing. Whatever you see on the screen, what they see.
Oh, this turned off. Oh, there it is. Okay.
So where can I see the? Oh, it is on there. Okay.
Whoa, there's a stream.
There it is.
Where
Yes.
where should we have this?
Let's see if we can shift this over slightly.
Okay, I'm just working on the full screen of the now.
Okay.
Right, so
Feel
that
free to
will
full
start
screen that.
by the next year.
Okay.
Now the pictures are-
So it's just the video here, and then the full setup next. Okay.
Everyone show up.
Wow! Congratulations.
Wait, Ed is
You did
here?
it.
No, Ed is in Kuala Lumpur coming here.
Okay.
And, all his opponents are free to replay.
Okay. Awesome. So wait, Kumar, we're on now, like microphone and all. Okay, just checking. All right, hello out there from.
The good news is Ganesh game and Will game is so slow. They are each play 2 moves.
Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah.
We also have the Quackle log on here, so we'll just recount that. All right, I see that, Benji. Hello. Yeah, we didn't know. Kumar actually just told us that we've been on for the last minute or two, so apologies for that. Good morning.
Who's leading right now?
Let's just see what it shows on Quackle over here. So Will, we're showing, is up. He's at 68, and Ganesh is at. Yes.
What a game!
So, good morning here from Penang, Malaysia. Jesse Matthews here, along with Jason Katz-Brown,
Hi,
the
I'm
one
Jason.
and the only.
It's so exciting.
Yes.
The one and only Jesse Matthews is especially exciting.
Yeah, so we're going to be here for all 45 of the games over the next 5 days to provide live coverage. Just for this round, we have just the basic element screens for you, but by the next round we should have our plan set up with all the different screens, including player cameras. For now, we're just going to do the basic feeds of the board and Quackle, just so that you guys have something to watch for this first round. We can quickly recount the last few moves between Will and Ganesh. Gowl was pretty standard for the opening. LOT, I believe, was the other 3 letters for Gowl. I see in the chat stream there you're saying sound is cutting for a second at times. I'll pass that on to Kumar. Thank you. He's on top of that.
Could we show the Quackle screen for a moment to recap?
Yeah, so we're just going to have Kumar switch to our Quackle screen. We'll just cycle through the last few moves just so everyone is up to speed on what's the game here.
Well, we can start recapping. So, yeah,
All
after
right.
Gal came Kawa, leaving FSU.
And
Oh,
for
there we
those
go,
of
here
you
we go.
from North America, you'll notice that the rack was Fukawa's. Shout out to Kate Fukawa
Kawa is
Connolly.
really cute because it leaves the U hook and making a full word here. So that was a delight. And then Will responded with fought.
Yeah, fought left ALT left over, so thought it was a good move there. And then Bufo from Ganesh, there was a few places for that. This is the more defensive position, so Quackle's also in favor of this one.
Yeah, that was a great play. And Tool.
And then Tool was a nice underlap with some 1-point tiles to still score almost 30 points. I believe Iota was the other candidate play in the exact same spot. Quackle having slight preference for Iota, but both were very close.
Yeah. That's where we are. Oh,
All right, and interestingly, we both thought that enough would be the play to go to the F and Bufo, but instead there is just Neff on the board.
Wow. What did he play?
He played Neff.
Wow.
N-E-F.
N-E-F.
So that's the update on the game. And after Neff, Ganesh is up 74 to Will's 68. So it's been an exchange of moves here. And Will's is going for a cute little dump of a couple of vowels there. Not sure what else you can really do. There's not much of a way to score in this board, and this gives him an opening for his nice rack there. It does block hooking onto Gowl, but it's difficult not to block something at this point.
For a 2E or a 2E.
I think this one's better because it doesn't give away a potential double-double out of nowhere. If Ganesh were to draw that, I think this one is totally fine. But Will, unfortunately, has pulled 2 eyes out of the bag.
Oh! And what did Ganesh draw?
Ganesh has let's see here.
He's a shuffling machine. What?
Cudnets. I had to say something else other than what immediately came to mind. So.
NEF was. What do you think of NEF? That was a very odd play to leave CES to you.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about NEF, to be honest. I think enough would have been totally fine. And yes, Benji, actually, that is exactly what I had in my mind. Well spotted. So even after dropping the quick couple of tiles, it's basically neck and neck at this point with only 1 point apart onto Ganesh. So Ganesh is up 74 to 73.
Yeah. This is an exciting game. I think having Ganesh in this tournament is amazing just because he's an open book. Like rather the opposite of an open book. What's the opposite of an open book? It's like a mystery.
Very mysterious, yes. Kind of it's a fitting theme given we have, Nigel has his mystique about him forever. But having someone else in the event who's also mysterious, not for the exact same reasons. In this case, it's because Ganesh has been out of the game at this level for so long. So often people who are playing at this level, they have knowledge of their past records against certain players. They can observe annotated games. They can see tendencies in the way that people play. But with Ganesh out of the game for so long, there isn't really the same opportunity because his style of play could have changed, his level of play could have changed in either direction. So it's hard to predict any tendencies in the way that he plays because we do have Quackle to look at, static or even applied evaluation of moves, but there is that sort of a je ne sais quoi involving players, where they have certain ways that they prefer to play, and you can't really evaluate that with numbers. It's just simply experience.
Yeah. But I guess here there was a very straightforward play of Duck, and no other play to be super close because the NST is so strong, and that was.
Yeah, I think it's pretty tough to pass on Duck. I mean, the only thing with Tuck would have been just having an S and being able to hook it on the top, but I think Duck is still the better play.
On deck would have been quite interesting to set up Sun Deck.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
And given that there's a really easy bingo lane, no matter what tiles you have on column M, just keeping the best possible leave sounds pretty good to me.
Opting for less variance by going for the 3-tile play for sure.
Yeah.
So a suggestion in the chat is to change 2 eyes off of Will's rack.
That seems like a good idea.
It's definitely an interesting idea. I mean, in his head, the fear might be that he just picks, a vowel and a consonant, which is still not so good, and 2 vowels again would certainly be disastrous.
Yeah, exchanging 3.
So he's playing Taed, using Tii to the D, which I think is fine. Yeah, he's keeping yes. In the static simulation, it's right at the top as far as moves to make if you're not going to exchange.
Yeah, let's see how Quackle thinks they stack up in a short simulation.
So it looks like Taed is near the top, along with exchanging 2 or 3 eyes. Yeah, 3 eyes is kind of where I was leaning if I was going to change. Changing 3 eyes is changing top spot along with changing 2 eyes. Yeah. So now that we've done a little bit more simulation on the move, the exchanges are leading over playing Taed, but it's jumping between changing 2 eyes and 3 eyes.
Yeah. If you were to try to argue for Taed, how would you make that argument? I don't really see any advantages of Tayed.
Meanwhile, Ganesh has I think his hand is covering the blank, and he's got Senate and a blank, so there's going to be a bingo coming for sure. Question is, what does he play? Hello, Jimmy. I see you in the chat there. Thanks for joining.
I love the comment that only one E has been played so far.
Yeah, that is... Actually, there's two. There's Etui and there's Tayed as well. But still, yeah, that's only 2 E's. Yeah, Will has sprains, so playing through has worked out as far as drawing something. And yeah, he has 2 spots for it. He can play underneath tool or 3 photos, Etuis with the... Yeah, he's got a few spots for that for sure, so it'll be an exchange of bingos quite shortly. Looks like... So Neatons is the play here from Ganesh. The blank is an N. Well, we're hoping so. I mean, I would assume that that's what he's doing. Sejant is actually the one I was looking at as well.
Oh, you found Sejant?
I did, yeah.
Good work. Is that French?
Yes.
Wow.
So Sejant was the one I was thinking of. But Neatons also does the job,
Sejant
certainly.
for 1 extra point, but Neatons is on the board.
So Will's definitely still got options here as far as his bingos for this turn.
Yeah, which one scores? Let's see how much they score. So many sprains. Spinars.
Spinars is nice, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, someone's asked for the score. Yes, my apologies. Forgot the score is not on there. So after Ganesh's bonus play, he's at 166 points. Will is at 85, but that's about to change with sprains coming down on the board. He's placed it next to the I and Etsui, so that's definitely more defensive. I'm in favor of that, certainly. So that'll be 76 points for Will. So after Will's last play, Ganesh is up by 5 points. The score is 166 to 161 in Ganesh's favor, and it will be his turn again. It does look like Ganesh has drawn the other blank. Yeah, he has. Was that a C there in front of... Oh, a B. Okay. So he's got Zebu XS blank. So things are looking to be in Ganesh's favor at the moment with that draw of the second blank out of the bag.
Those are quite good tiles.
Yeah. So there is Zebus through the E and Neatons for a lot of points, certainly. That's what immediately jumped out at me. Let's see what else is available. Noah, that's a good question. I actually haven't talked to see if we're going to be continuing straight through to round 2 or taking a break for 5 minutes. I will check with you. I believe our intention was not to go off the air for very long, just because the pace of this tournament is so fast. But once we hear an answer from Michael Tang and Kumar, I will let you know. My previous understanding was we were going to go off the air for 5 minutes quickly and then come back, but I will let you know.
There's X's or Zebus. XU is also interesting on column L, making Li and XU and XI and UN.
So Zex's is shooting right up to the top. I'm still more in favor of Zebus just because the leave is so much better and it's only 10 points less.
We have a novel play coming down. We have X setting up to Z.
Oh, nice. That's cute.
But it also what? What?
Well, he still has Zebus, right? He has Zebus or Neatons, and if he can either play there or maybe he'll get something, Zia and Says or Saz.
That would almost make sense if he had a word that actually fit there already. That's a peculiar play.
Yeah, I think he spotted Zebus for sure and is just leaving it for next turn. Yeah, I'm not sure I would do that, but I think the logic is that he has something scoring with the Z in 2 spots next turn for sure.
Yeah, but interesting. And Will has EINOTV.
Oh, he doesn't have an S. Okay, I thought he did. Sorry, guys. Let me have a look. So yeah, he's got Bez. Yeah, we're setting up Bez. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he had because he didn't have an S, as they were saying. I thought he did, guys. My apologies.
Oh. Interesting. I wonder what he had.
We'll have to go back and look and see what that is.
Anyways, Will now has EINOTV. He's down by 43. He doesn't have great options. He could play Votine underneath of Newton's for 31. That's by far his highest scoring play, leaving I. And other than that, he just has a bunch of plays of Vo, which you could play like Vo and B in the top right corner. That would like fork the board really aggressively.
And that's in fact the one that Quackle likes the most, just underneath 14 as far as the static sim goes.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But once the plies have been turned on, then Votine is keeping its place near the top, but Evo is changing places with it. Evo at C1, going down to the E and Teid. But then, rather curiously, at N1, it's not Vo that's simming well, it's Evo. Evo and BO. I don't think I could do that.
Oh my gosh. Evo at N1 would, so that's crazy.
That would make my head explode if I saw that go on the board. But I think it's because it forks the board in a way that you can't do anything about it because the V stops someone from taking out both spots.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just not sure this position calls for that.
Yeah, Quackle's not going to help you much here because it's kind of a matter of how desperate are you feeling. I mean, it's a long game and it's going to be he's only down by one turn. Only half the game's been played. I wouldn't get desperate. I mean, Votine seems like an easy choice if you just want to go by the book and play for equity. And I don't think there's any reason not to play for equity here.
I think I'm a part of Team Votine here. That's what I would go for.
Are we able to go back and see?
There it is.
I guess you can't go back in time,
Hello, Allison. Thanks for your comment. Actually, we came on the air after the first several moves had been played in this game, just because there were a few points of difficulty that were being resolved before we could go on the air. So it won't be possible to see the game right from the beginning as far as the first few moves go. We came online, I believe it was 4 moves into the game when we came online. So apologies for that. This setup is also just temporary as far as the camera goes. We're going to be mixing a lot more things onto one screen simultaneously starting the next round, assuming everything is fixed. So at that point it'll be a very different experience. And I see your suggestion to put the link to the Twitch feed on the Alchemist Cup website. That's duly noted. I will pass that on and we'll see if we can get that fixed for you. So Vo has been put down on the board next to Sprains. So ISO, PE, and Vo is on the board.
Huh.
And interesting, Vo opens up the triple word scores on the right, of course. If you have an S and a T or anything like that, then you can score a lot. The interesting thing is not holding an S while you're playing that, because I know if I were starting to think about what my opponent held at that point, I don't know if I would immediately say they have to have an S, but I would be thinking very strongly that there's a high possibility that they're holding one there.
What does Ganesh have?
Ganesh, where he's covering it, so there's D-O-Z-U. He's playing Bez, so B-E-Z, and he's kept Udo blank left over. Yeah, so X was a setup for Bez for sure. It's just a question of what he had on that turn.
Somebody mentioned that he left Bez, U blank, and so that, from that situation, the X makes a lot of sense.
So Antlier is coming down for Will on this turn. Nice.
Wow.
He'll be jumping ahead with that one for sure.
No, that just brings him.
Oh wait, sorry,
even.
we didn't have the last score for Ganesh added. So Ganesh is at 256, and Will is at 253. It's Ganesh's turn.
Oh.
253 for Will Anderson, 256 for Ganesh. So Ganesh has Duan, but he is playing something else. Eudaimon, yeah.
Cool. That's his highest scoring play. That and unatoned, but unatoned through the T of Tayed.
So that gets all the blanks out of the way after Eudaimon goes down. Puts Ganesh at 326, Will 253, and Will has just one vowel at this point in time. He's got Merry as in Merry Christmas plus GN.
Merry is a verb in Collins, right? Oh, it's not.
Gentry is a nice play.
Yeah.
Jeremy Hildebrand points out Gerrymander is a nice long steal for that rack. Aaron Bader, is that a request for me to be louder? That is not something I've heard in a long time. I can certainly talk louder if you want. Hello, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we have here.
In a Quackleson, retry is neck and neck with Gentry. It's 4 less points, but it leaves GMN, which might be nicer because there's 4 I's left, and I doesn't go great with R, but does go good with G and N. And then there's 3 R's left, which, so using up your R's might be advantageous. But Gentry is plenty strong. Sadly, Quackle thinks even after Gentry, Will is only 12% to win. He's only down by 24 though. Whoa! A scoreboard has appeared on our on our feed.
That's almost Pokemon-like the way you said that. A wild scoreboard has appeared out in the wild.
What does Ganesh have?
I see L-I. I think that's a Q. Yeah, so Trig goes down the board, and yeah, that's L-I-Q. And Aaron Bader, that is correct. Jason Katz-Brown is on the air with me here in Penang. We'll be providing all 45 rounds of coverage for you. I am so honored to have him in studio next to me.
This is so exciting. It's an honor to have Aaron Bader in our chat. Wait, so he had Trig LIQ and then he played Trig?
Yeah, so that's kind of the reaction in the chat as well, is why didn't he just play QI?
I guess it's very likely that Will has an I and he could score a ton of points there on the rightmost column.
Do you think Gentry implies he has an I? Or is it just more because there's enough left?
2 I's on the scene, and there's like roughly a third to a half of a chance that he has an eye.
So Will has Armory plus a V on his rack. Look at that. Aaron Bader is a busy man. Conferences in Osaka and Kyoto for the next 3 days.
Wow.
Those are two places I would love to visit that I have not been to yet, Aaron. So please have fun when you're not conferencing. Let us know how the adventures are going there. Benji is suggesting Vroom as a play.
Whoa, Damon takes a hook.
Oh,
I did
look
not.
at that.
Who knows the hook of Damon?
Yeah, I didn't know that one either. I knew that eudaimon plus an I is basically the same word if you anagram it. You know that one, right?
Eudaimonia?
Eudaimonia works as well.
Oh, you can.
So, like, if you add an I to those 8 letters, eudaimonia works as well.
But there's 2 spellings of eudaimonia. So you could.
Oh, you can extend it as well.
You
Yeah,
can, Can you
eudaimonia.
steal it and then.
So eudaimonia.
Oh no. Oh, that's a crazy word. That word has a lot of vowels.
Yes.
Eudaemonia. It is hard to steal.
That is very.
See
Yeah,
the
deuteranomalies. That's nice.
Eudaimonistic. Oh, you can't steal.
Chris Hawkins is requesting the unseen tiles. Yeah, that's fair. Just
Yeah.
since you can't see them, so let's just.
That's coming. Oh, yeah, that'll be coming to our future feed. But yeah, the unseen tiles now from Will's perspective are A, C, D, D, E, E, F, H, I, I, J, L, M, Q, R, S.
Yeah, so from Will's perspective, the pool is fairly consonant heavy with a number of I's. Plus, there's of course the Q.
Yeah.
So from his point of view, if he were to draw the Q, then he really only has one region of the board he can play it in. So he'll be cognizant of the need to play the Q should he draw it. Budak, I do see you've mentioned clock in view for the next game. We already had planned on doing that for the entire screen setup. So the next game for sure should have the time available. We can't see the clock at the moment on the screen, so I'm not sure what time is looking like. We'll see if Kumar can take a look for us and let us know what the time situation is like for the players.
Yeah, I think we'll take care of the clock in the next game.
So it looks like Ganesh is playing Fukai after Will played Muri.
Muri. I wonder why you played Muri over Vroom. I'm not sure I understand that. Vroom in the chat was a good suggestion.
Yeah, I think Vroom was probably the candidate play there. So Fukai is interesting. Someone mentions it does set up a higher scoring Q play.
Wow.
He's got QI. That is actually quite nice.
He left QIDL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the first QI setup was either, but this is definitely a QI setup.
That is such a good play. It's both the highest equity, like highest scoring play, and sets up the Q. Wow.
So we're seeing after Fukai, how many? Yeah, 10 unseen tiles. So there's 3 in the bag.
And what does Will have?
So Will has heavier on his rack.
Ooh. This is so interesting because there are bingo. If Ganesh gets down QI, is such a huge lead, but Will could bingo out.
So this is looking like a 2-tile play for sure. It's just a question of what he does.
Well, what a game.
So we have to look at options like playing HE and Fukai if he does. It looks like he does have that set up to try and block the QI spot. But I
don't think he needs
he's not.
to. He doesn't need to block anything.
So he's just playing Thai and T,
Ooh.
which is a nice play.
Yeah, that's the highest That's the high scoring 2-letter play.
Yeah, and 2 doesn't leaves 1 in the bag, so that's nice. See, from Will's point of view, he can still draw the cue.
Well, I mean, if he draws the cue, he loses. He needs to bingo, right?
Yeah, so someone in the chat says, QI will not win if Will bingos. Ganesh shouldn't have put himself in this situation. Yeah, that's fair game. Fair game. So Will has drawn RM. So he's got Marvier on his rack, which does work in Collins, I'm pretty sure. But there is no spot.
Wow, Paco thinks there's about a third of a chance he'll win after. I don't know. Yeah, there's probably a 20 to 30% chance he'll win after Ichi. Really great play. What did
So let's
Ganesh
see.
draw?
Ganesh, he's got QISDJDL. So he's got a lot. So there's 1 left in the bag. From Ganesh's point of view, there is Marvier plus A. So for bingos, he has to try and parse if there are any bingos on the board.
Ooh. And there's Mary's.
Also has to look through the G and the E in the top in Gentry to see if anything plays through those. Armeria is unseen to Ganesh, says Benji, so yes, that's one possibility on the bottom.
What was the possibility? Or
This one.
huh?
So Ganesh has decided just to play QI and just see what happens. Interesting part is he draws an A, so there could have been a potential issue with getting rid of the J, but drawing that A, he should be fine. So Ganesh is at 417 to Will's 359. Will is holding Marvier.
Yeah, Armarius was a good spot. There were no other bingos.
So Armarius
The
was
G
the
or the
one.
E.
That was the single unseen one in the pool. Will is down to 1 minute 40 seconds. I can see in the corner of the clock there. Chris Hawkins, that is a good question. Round 1 started shortly after 8:30, but we were delayed going on the air. Just there were a few issues with the stream that Kumar was sorting out, and we're expecting that most of them should be resolved before the next round starts.
Miraculously, almost all the players showed up.
Yeah, the only player missing was Ed Oculitz, who had a misadventure involving a canceled flight with Qatar Airways. Apparently, he rerouted through Iceland, so he must have changed airlines altogether to get here. I'm not sure how that makes sense, to fly all the way back to Iceland. We'll have to ask him about his adventures once he finally gets here.
Where was Ed coming from?
He was coming from Europe. He was supposed to be flying, I believe, from Helsinki to Doha, and then on to KL after that.
Cool. Bill's played Merv, which is the optimal end game. That's good.
So then Aji to score a decent amount there. And yes, Benji, I've already determined I'll be speaking with Ed Oculitz at some point to share his travel misadventures. And we should hopefully get to chat with him later on. My guess is if he's not, a complete zombie at this point and exhausted, then he may not want to talk at all. He's got to get into game mode pretty fast.
Aji wasn't. I guess spread doesn't matter. Does spread matter at all this tournament?
I think only if there is tiebreakers, but it's really just the number of points you get as a team. So spread, not really. I think it's really just a matter of getting the win.
JASS to the S of sprains was a bit better in the end game, but doesn't matter so much. Qualcomm thinks that optimal would be making it going out in 2 here.
Yeah, and with Ma and Aji, I was thinking the same, just since Ganesh is in no danger of going out. Oh, he didn't actually hit the clock on his play, so he's doing J instead?
Why is he...
So he hadn't committed to his clock.
I guess he has not spotted Jess.
So he's finally hit the clock on Aji. And will put down Ma pretty quickly here, which I think is perfectly fine. Then there's AME and Jar that he can do next turn if Ganesh doesn't play there.
This is so cute. They're building a little.
They're a little tiny staircase.
Yeah. Ganesh can play Maz and cheese. And then we'll
cheese.
And Jar. And
I had plenty of cheese for breakfast today. No, he was about to hit the clock on putting down the D on BEZ, but Ganesh is not a fan of the D apparently. He's gonna go with the S play instead. Oh no, he's playing dams to block the ER maybe. Perhaps he was concerned about Will scoring there, but he's gonna win, so
yeah.
He's gonna overtime, apparently. Well, Will would have to play 1 tile and not go out.
Why is he? This is so weird.
So Will search for anything that scores a decent amount. I don't think there's anything that scores quite enough, but SEA, ER, RE is 12.
Well, you can play RE and ED for 15.
Yeah.
It's crazy that he almost came back.
Yeah, so optimally played endgame from Will there, definitely, to recover some points.
That was quite a game. What are your thoughts?
I'm happy with this first game here. 442 for Ganesh to 436 for Will. Will put on a clinic, I would say, for that endgame there. That was pretty nice. We'll have to ask him about Muri, because I do agree, I think Vroom was the better play in that spot there. The Eudaimon hook, Jeremy, it takes a Y, so Eudaimony.
Eudaimony. Yeah, I'd love to look at Muri. I mean, the Y, playing Vroom and keeping the Y might be a liability when you're trying to bingo to an S.
That's true, because the Y is such a bingo killer, but the V is not really that helpful either.
The other cool play was VOE making ISO and P. That was a delightful, especially the way it worked out exactly as he hoped for, with a high scoring bingo.
Noah, I still haven't heard back from Kumar. I did promise I'd let you know. My apologies. He still hasn't provided an answer just because he's sorting out some of the stream issues. But we're not off the air anytime soon, as far as I know. To answer your question, I will type the link in the chat. I did put it on my Facebook, but I realize I don't think we're connected on Facebook at this point in time. So you would go to alchemistcup.causewaychallenge.com. Oh, I'm not logged in. Oh no. Someone else who's logged in, if you can type it in the chat, please. I know we have people who can spell that are watching this, so if someone else can type that, that's again. Oh, the chat might kill links by default. That's a good question. That's right, Jeremy. It has done that before.
Should we go do an interview? Can we?
We could pull someone in here if they're finished. Do you want to go out and find somebody and maybe bring them in?
Well, it'd be cool to hear their chat they're having right now.
Oh, them at the board. I'm not sure we could get the... Thank you, Allison, for posting the link. It looks like there was no warning or nixing of links there. I don't know if we would be able to pick up the sound from that board.
I think they're working on that for the future.
Yeah, we should be able to get sound for that in the future.
Yeah. Although we're probably already behind schedule, given that they used up all the time on their clocks.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's people waiting for them, but they are entitled to a break for a few minutes, so it's up to them. Chris, you're welcome. We are really looking forward to providing coverage for all these games. I think it's just going to get better and better as everyone gets warmed up and increasing their level of play by even more as the days go on. Will he's in Murderer's Row today with all the matchups he has. He's playing Nigel, I believe, 2 or 3 rounds from now. I can't remember. So he's playing some really tough people today. Aaron, we are sorry you can't catch us live either, but do remember these games will be archived on Twitch. I believe Twitch by default archives them for up to a month, and I believe Kumar is supposed to be putting these onto YouTube before they get removed from Twitch. So stay tuned. I will let you know once I learn more about that, as far as where that's going to be.
Man, I love this game so much. I loved Duck, because it could have led Undeck, which seems Sim's best by quite a bit.
Yeah, and Allison, I know he's sick, sadly. I'm being Dr. Jesse as well and checking on him to make sure he's okay. I promise I'll take care of him for you. I'll give him a big hug for you too, Alice, and I'll let him know that you're watching.
Oh, big hugs.
We are a fan of big hugs.
Yeah.
That big hug energy, I'm all over that.
Yeah. Jesse's hugs are robust.
Robust, that is not an adjective I've heard describe my hugs before. I like it. Not too big a hug? Okay, I promise. I can't out-hug you, Alice, and I don't think that's possible, but I'll give him a reasonably sized hug. Yeah, the 2016 Causeway videos, I didn't get to watch any of the coverage for the games, but on my Facebook, all the memories from events around that time are coming up, so I've gotten to see some of the Facebook Live streams I did 2 years ago from... Sorry, Kumar's just here to talk about the next round. Just one moment.
Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm just going to take the stream down and put it back out on again.
Okay.
The full screen with the rec proper, the scores and everything.
Cool.
That will come up. Sorry, that will come after lunch because that's good. We have 5 minutes in between. I don't have enough time to lay that out.
Okay.
So after lunch we'll have the full proper screen. But what they will see is this with the camera, board, and I'll type in the scores. Until lunchtime.
Sounds good.
Right?
Okay, so we've just gotten an update from Kumar as far as the setup for the rest of the morning. So we have pieces of the full setup that will be coming in starting next round. We're still not going to have the full setup quite yet. My understanding is it's a matter of processing power. I think we had to make sure there was enough laptops and computers to make everything work. So we're able to get some of the pieces going for the broadcast starting next round. We're going to be going off the air very briefly while the stream gets rebooted with some of the features added to it. I believe that's 5 minutes from now, Kumar, we're coming back? Okay, so we're going to be off the air for just 5 minutes from Penang and coming right back for round 2. I don't remember off the top of my head who is playing in round 2. I know we have the list somewhere, but I don't have it with me.
Jesse Day and Nigel?
Is it Jesse and Nigel? We'll quickly check to see who's playing. And then we'll go off so Kumar can reset everything. Oh, it's Chris May and Jesse Day. Oh, wow. Excellent. So we're going to have...
May versus Day.
May and Day.
May Day.
May Day. So Chris May, as some of you know, joined me as a commentator in studio in in Johor Bahru 2 years ago. And since then, you know, there's been a few things that have happened. Now he's right back to playing, representing Team Australia. Really looking forward.
Team.
Yeah. So we'll be back in 5 minutes, going off the air briefly from Penang. Jesse Matthews and Jason Katz-Brown will be back in 5 minutes for the next round.